As the tributes stand on the podium, the horn sounds. Seiko takes a handful of throwing knives. Ryuk runs away. Cosmo snatches a pair of sais. Naofumi runs away. Twice and Turkey fight for a bag. Turkey gives up. Shizuku gathers as much food as she can. Rebecca runs away. Risu finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. Kishibe runs away. Kanao runs away. As Death receives a trident. Power runs away. John Titor snatches a pair of sais. Rom stabs L while his back is turned. Rest in peace.
Let's go, Kangaroo.
Stardew Valley. Reiner runs away. Kanade scares Rei away. Todoroki scares Annie away. Griffith grabs a sword. Killua runs away. Zeke takes a handful of throwing knives. Hanji clutches a first aid kit and runs away. Bowles runs away. Yuri runs away. Mina sets Echidna on fire with a Molotov. Aki runs away. Shin kills Shierk as she tries to run. Levi takes a sickle. Peak finds a bag full of explosive. Juzo and Serpico fight for a bag. Juzo gives up and retreats. Hayasaka grabs a shovel. Angel Devil runs away. Kurapika breaks Reigen's nose for a basket of bread. Ebisu, Akame, Shinobu, Kuriyama, and Fujiwara run away. Oh, and Guts and Kurisu run away, and Minin snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. Hanji stabs Kanao while her back is turned. John Titor, Kanade, and Annie hunt for other tributes. Bowles makes a wooden spear. Seiko camouflages in the bushes. Fujiwara receives medical supplies. Juzo fishes. Levi, Zeke, and Ebisu hunt together. Levi and Zeke working together, that's crazy. Shinobu makes a wooden spear.
Temporary alliance.
Yes. Peak, Hayasaka, and Todoroki hunt together. Minin hunts for other tributes. Akame receives fresh food. Mina dies from an infection. Twice receives medical supplies. Esdeath and Kurisu split up to search for resources. Angel Devil searches for firewood. Reiner, Yuri, Shizuku, Guts, and Rei hunt together. Cosmo receives fresh food. Griffith defeats Reigen but spares his life. Kishibe steals from Serpico while he isn't looking. Killua practices his archery. Naofumi stalks Kuriyama. Turkey dies trying to escape the arena. Ram overhears Risu and Kurapika talking in the distance. Rebecca shoots a poisonous blow dart into Aki's neck, slowly killing him. Ryuk kills Shin as he tries to run. Power goes hunting.
Destiny reference.
Oh no! Power cries herself to sleep. Shizuku lets Kurapika into her shelter. She's dead. Guts, Cosmo, Reiner, and Kishibe sleep in shifts. Kurisu lets Serpico into her shelter. John Titor convinces Kuriyama to snuggle with her. Annie and Fujiwara sleep in shifts. Killua defeats Kanade in a fight but spares her life. Reigen and Ebisu talk about the tribute still alive. Naofumi and Peak run into each other and decide to truce. Bowles tries to sing himself to sleep. Hanji, Seiko, Ram twice, and Ryuk sleep in shifts. Levi questions his sanity. Angel Devil attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Yuri goes to sleep. Todoroki passes out from exhaustion. Minin sets up camp for the night. Rei attacks Rebecca, but Zeke protects her, killing Rei. Hayasaka and Esdeath track down and kill Juzo. Akame receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Griffith climbs a tree to rest. Shinobu loses sight of where she is. Risu tends to his wounds. Akame chases Ram. Annie dies of dysentery. Seiko makes a slingshot. Griffith goes fishing. Power and Fujiwara hunt together. Declan, they're here. They're together again.
They are.
They're
Another
always
life.
together. Yep. Yuri hunts for other tributes. Kurisu defeats Levi but spares his life. Ebisu tends to Peak's wounds. Todoroki injures himself. Killua collects fruit from a tree. Naofumi sets off an explosive, killing Minin, Serpico, and Reigen. Rebecca, Cosmo, Angel Devil, and Risu raid Ryuk's camp while he's hunting. Esdeath sees smoke rising but doesn't investigate. Zeke sprains his ankle running away from Kurapika. Hayasaka, Twice, Guts, and Kuriyama hunt together. Yeah. John Titor discovers a cave. Kanade discovers a cave. Hanji hunts for other tributes. Shinobu and Shizuku split up to search for resources. Reiner ambushes and kills Kishibe, and Bowles receives a hatchet.
Kill Danger.
Zeke lets John Titor into his shelter. Peak and Yuri tell stories about themselves to each other. Hanji questions her sanity. Shizuku, Seiko, Ryuk, and Kanade sleep in shifts. Bowles defeats Twice but spares his life. Kurapika receives clean water. Rebecca dies trying to escape the arena. Todoroki, Shinobu, and Esdeath cheerfully sing songs together. Risu tries to treat his infection. Cosmo and Levi kill themselves. Ram looks at the night sky. Reiner, Ebisu, and Kurisu cheerfully sing songs together. Power questions her sanity. Killua and Naofumi talk about tributes still alive. Guts loses sight of where he is. Akame goes to sleep. Hayasaka and Angel Devil fight Griffith and Fujiwara. Hayasaka and Angel Devil survive. Good. Kuriyama receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Shizuku searches for firewood. Kanade sprains her ankle running away from Hayasuka. Angel Devil forces Naofumi to kill Reiner or Ryuk. He decides to kill Ryuk. The bigger threat. Good job. Todoroki attacks Kurisu, but she escapes. Ebisu, Akame, and Yuri get into a fight. Akame triumphantly kills them both. Canon. Ram runs away from Peak. Power and Zeke work together. Bulls overhears John Titor talking to Shinobu. Hanji and Killua work together for the day. Risu defeats Seiko but spares her life. Kurapika attacks Guts, but he manages to escape. Kuriyama shoots an arrow into Twice's head. Esdeath questions her sanity. Peak passes out from exhaustion. Naofumi tries to sing himself to sleep. Bulls defeats Zeke but spares his life. Kurisu is awoken by nightmares. Killua receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Esdeath lets Kurapika enter her shelter. Shizuku destroys Angel Devil's supplies while he is asleep. Hanji, Reiner, and Hayasuka sleep in shifts. Guts receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Power thinks about home. Akame falls into a frozen lake and drowns. John Titor receives an explosive. Ram tries to treat her infection. Seiko defeats Kuriyama but spares her life. Risu receives fresh food. Shinobu sings herself to sleep. Kanade thinks about winning. Todoroki dies trying to escape. Kuriyama receives a hatchet. Reiner stalks Shinobu. Bulls constructs a shack. Guts tries to spearfish with a trident. Risu and Kanade hunt together. Shizuku discovers a river. Killua receives medical supplies. Naofumi hunts for other tributes. Seiko receives a bomb. Ram and Zeke work together. Peak discovers a cave. Esdeath makes a wooden spear. Hanji chases Angel Devil. John Titor receives clean water. Kurapika kills Power with her own weapon. Hayasuka makes a slingshot. Kurisu hunts for other tributes.
He's frozen.
He's frozen.
This game is...
Agreed. Esdeath receives an explosive. Hanji is woken by nightmares. Risu climbs a tree to rest. Kurapika attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Bolus climbs a tree to rest. Angel Devil screams for help. Hayasuka receives a hatchet. Kurisu forces John Titor to kill Reiner or Shizuku. She decides to kill Shizuku. Guts receives fresh food. Shinobu shoots a poisonous blow dart into Seiko's neck, slowly killing her. Those are like two kind of poison-related characters. That's cool.
Yeah.
Ram, Kanade, Zeke, and Peak tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Naofumi taints Killua's food, killing him, and Kurapika screams for help. Esdeath receives a hatchet. Kanade forces Hayasuka to kill Risu or Guts, but she doesn't want to kill either of them. More specifically, she can't physically kill either of them, so Kanade kills her instead. Naofumi goes hunting. Kurapika is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Shinobu kills Hanji with a hatchet. Ram and Kurapika split up to search for resources. John Titor sets Kurisu on fire with a Molotov. Bulge overhears Peak and Zeke talking in the distance. Angel Devil collects fruit from a tree. Reiner searches for a water source. Risu receives an explosive. Guts, Kanade, and Esdeath sweep in shifts. Peak sets off an explosive, killing Naofumi. Reiner thinks about winning. Bolus thinks about home. John Titor poisons Ram's drink. She drinks it and dies. Kuriyama, Zeke, and Shinobu sleep in shifts. Kurapika severely slices Angel Devil with a sword. Cornucopia is replenished with all of this stuff. Guts doesn't go to the feast. Peak doesn't go to the feast. Shinobu sets off an explosive, killing Bulls, Kanade, Esdeath, and Risu. Kurapika doesn't go to the feast. Kuriyama throws a knife into Zeke's head. Reiner destroys John Titor's memoirs out of spite. Damn. Reiner falls into a frozen lake and drowns. John Titor goes hunting. Peak thinks about home. Guts and Shinobu work together for the day. Kurapika attacks Kuriyama, but she escapes. Alright. John Titor questions her sanity. Peak, Guts, Shinobu, and Kurapika track down and kill Kuriyama. Kurapika sees smoke rising but doesn't investigate. Shinobu stalks Peak. John Titor receives an explosive. Guts dies of an infection. Kurapika, John Titor, and Shinobu discuss what might happen in the morning. Meanwhile, Peak is singing herself to sleep. Peak goes fishing. John Titor falls into a pit and dies. Kurapika receives a hatchet. Shinobu is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Final three, we have Peak from Attack on Titan, Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter, and Shinobu from Demon Slayer.
Come on, Pete.
Peak is awoken by nightmares. Kurapika receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Shinobu receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Peak and Shinobu hunt for other tributes. Kurapika injures himself. Kurapika and Shinobu sleep in shifts. Peak is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Shinobu goes hunting. Peak tracks down and kills Kurapika. Final two.
Peak versus Shinobu.
Yep. Peak begs for Shinobu to kill her. She reluctantly obliges, killing Peak. They got to the
Darn.
final two, and she was just like, "Kill me, please. I do not."